If you love DIY, or if knowing the size of battery bank to use for your solar energy backup have always left you bewildered, you are confused, you don't know the size of battery bank to use for your solar energy backup, then this video is for you. So I'll be giving you a simple tip on how to know the size of battery to use for your solar energy backup. So the calculation I'll be using an example with a 350 watt load, because the first thing you need to know is your power consumption. Yes, that is the amount of load you consume per hour. So in this example, I'll be using 350 watts load per hour. So before you do this calculation, you have to know the amount of load you consume and for how many hours you consume this load. So assuming you consume 350 watt load per hour and you consume this, you do this 10 hours daily, right? So 350 watts load per hour, and you want this load to run for 10 hours daily. So you need a battery bank that will sustain you for 10 hours that this load will be running, right? Remember, we said 350 watts per hour. That means in 10 hours, you might be consuming around 3,000 something watts. So that's the calculation we'll be doing. After knowing the amount of load you consume, knowing the hour you consume this load, that's the period, the next thing is how to know the size of battery to use for this amount of load for this specific given time. So after knowing your load, the next thing you have to do is the formula. It's a very simple formula. You can see you can see BZ, which is our battery, BS. You can see BS, which is our battery size, is equal to W multiplied by H divided by 12. Divided by V, right? So this W here represents our watt and this H represents the hour, while this BS represents battery size and the V represents battery voltage. So you can just say BV in order not to get confused. Say BV, which is battery volt. So remember, we are dealing with alternating current watt. So anything watt, as long as it's watt, whether it's DC or AC, is still watt because we are dealing with power. So there is no need to convert alternating current watt into direct current watt, because watt is watt even in DC. So after getting your formula, like I said, the W represent the watt and the H represent the hour, while the BV represent the battery voltage. We have different voltage of battery banks. There are 12 volt, there are 24 volt, there are 48 volt, there are 36 volt. So depending on the voltage of battery you want to use. But with this example, we'll be dealing with a 12 volt system. So with this 12 volt system, we'll be working with 12 volts. Since we have known our load to be 350 watts, our hour to be 10 hour, our battery voltage with BV is equal to 12, because I said we'll be dealing with a 12 volt system. The next thing you'll do is to say 350, that's 350 watts, multiplied by 10, because we are dealing with hour, not minutes. So you don't have to convert the hour into minutes. You just do your multiplication direct. So 350 multiplied by 10 divided by 12, right? Because the H represents the hour, and we want this amount of load to run for the period of 10 hours. So that is why we are saying 350 multiplied by 10, and the battery volt is 12 volt. That's why 12 is here. If it's 24 volt, then here would have been 24 volt. If it's 36 volt, here would have been 36 volt. If it's 48 volt, here would have been 48 volt. But we are dealing with a 12 volt system, so we'll be working with 12 volt. BS, which is battery size, will be equal to 350 multiplied by 10. That's 3,500 watts. That's in 10 hours. So divide by 12 volts. 3,500 watts divided by 12 will give us, so our BS will now be equal to approximately 292 AH, 292 amps per hour. So for this amount of load to run for the period of 10 hours, you will need a battery bank of 292 amperes. That's amp per hour. That is the simplest tip, or that's the simplest formula you will use to calculate your battery bank. So what this is trying to tell us is that if you have a battery bank of 292 ampere hour, a 12-volt battery, it will take you 10 hours to drain this battery using a 350 watt load. And if you consume 350 watt per hour for 10 hours, this is the amount of battery bank you will need to keep yourself sustained for the next 10 hours, which you'll be running this 350 watt load. So this formula or this example is the same when you want to calculate using a 12 volt, a 24 volt system, a 36 volt system, a 48 volt system, even a 100 and something volt system. This is the simplest formula you can use in determining the battery bank to use for a solar energy backup. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section.